Nissan CEO Makoto Uchida recently warned that the automaker faces an extremely tough situation and has announced drastic measures to try and turn the company around.
Like us, we have 90 years of the history building the one business model, kind of a centralized. Then we will deploy that in US market, Europe, Japan, and China. But since the world's pace has been changed, the market has been fragmented, and the customers' acceptance speed is also different.
Yeah.
So that means we, as kind of automotive company, needs to be transform ourselves from the way of the past way of doing, cannot be continued for the future.
Uchida has scrapped key points of Nissan's existing midterm plan, slashing 9,000 jobs, cutting production capacity, and selling a part of Nissan's stake in Mitsubishi Motors. The aim is to arrest Nissan's decline and help it regain stability after reporting a net loss in the latest quarter. For the latest quarter through September, Nissan racked up a 9.3 billion yen loss, which translates into $60 million, a reversal from the 190.7 billion yen profit recorded the same quarter a year ago. Quarterly sales fell to 2.9 trillion yen, or $19 billion, from 3.1 trillion yen. Uchida, who became CEO amidst the turmoil that followed the arrest and removal of former chairman Carlos Ghosn, downgraded Nissan's full-year sales and operating profit forecasts and said it was too early to provide an accurate target for net income. The new measures are part of an emergency recovery mode for Nissan, as Uchida looks to cut costs and improve efficiency to achieve profitability even at reduced sales volumes. As part of the restructuring, Guillaume Cartier has been promoted to Chief Performance Officer to oversee sales and profits. Cartier previously led Nissan's operations in Europe, Africa, the Middle East, India, and Oceania. Uchida also announced more executive changes planned for January and personally decided to forego 50% of his CEO's salary from this month as a gesture to take responsibility for Nissan's current struggles. Nissan's reform plan includes carving out nearly $3 billion in additional savings, achieved through various cost-cutting measures. Uchida said at a news conference, "The question is how to do it fast and adapt to reality," adding that the company's sales plan was overstretched given the rapid changes in the global markets. The dramatic course correction marks a significant setback for Uchida, as he tried to rekindle growth at the carmaker amidst shrinking sales and profits. In March, he had introduced a new midterm business plan called the ARC, aimed at boosting sales by 1 million vehicles and achieving an operating profit margin of 6% or more. However, Uchida now has to put those goals on hold, admitting, "We have no choice but to partially revise the plan. It is my deepest regret to face this challenging situation in the initial year of the ARC." Under the revised plan, Nissan aims to achieve profitability with an annual global sales volume of 3.5 million vehicles, which is about 100,000 more than the company's current sales figures. To achieve this, Uchida intends to reduce Nissan's global production capacity by 20%, bringing its production capacity of 5 million units more in line with annual sales numbers. Despite the revisions, Nissan is not canceling the 30 new or updated products promised under the ARC.
We also announced our ambition 2030,
Yes.
how we get on our electrification. The pace was more like a step-by-step. We declare how we want to make the battery cost to be much more competitive. We declare how we're going to do the electrical transmission, means e-powertrain, to be optimized on what kind of a stage. That was a pace we are kind of imagining.
However, their launch timing may be pushed back, depending on market demands. Chief Monozukuri Officer Hideyuki Sakamoto also provided further details about how Nissan would reduce capacity, noting that they currently have 25 vehicle production lines and would reduce the operational maximum capacity of these lines by 20%. This would involve changing the line speed and shift patterns to increase efficiency. Nissan is also working on reducing vehicle development lead times to 30 months and plans to deepen its collaboration with partners like Renault and Mitsubishi. Overall, Nissan's goal is to cut fixed costs by 300 billion yen, 2.12 billion, and reduce variable costs by 100 billion yen, 703.2 million, compared to the fiscal year ending March 31st. Uchida declined to provide a specific timeline for when the job cuts, and production reductions would be implemented, nor did he specify where they would take place. However, some of the cuts will come through voluntary separation programs, similar to the buyout packages offered recently to white-collar employees in the US. Addressing the company's difficulties, Uchida said, "I plan to take our company toward future growth. The lives of 130,000 Nissan employees and their families around the world rest on my shoulders. I feel great responsibility as a leader of the company." As part of its financial restructuring, Nissan also plans to reduce its stake in alliance partner Mitsubishi Motors Corp. It will sell nearly a third of its 34% stake, amounting to about 10% of Mitsubishi's total shares, which will be bought back by Mitsubishi. The reported sale price is 460.6 yen, or $3.24 per share, with Nissan expecting to net approximately 68.6 billion yen, or $482.7 million, from the sale. Despite reducing its stake, Nissan still plans to remain Mitsubishi's largest shareholder. Nissan's overhaul comes amid declining profitability and a drop in global sales. The company reported an 85% drop in operating profit in the latest quarter, citing issues like bloated inventory, sluggish sales, and production slowdowns. Operating profit fell to 31.9 billion yen, or $224.3 million, for Nissan's fiscal second quarter ending September 30th, down from 208.1 billion yen, or $1.5 billion a year earlier. Nissan also swung to a net loss of 9.3 billion yen, or $65.4 million, compared to a net profit of 190.7 billion yen, or $1.3 billion, in the same period last year. Nissan sales struggled worldwide, with a 2.8% decline in retail sales to 809,000 vehicles for the July-September period. North American deliveries were down slightly, falling 0.2% to 299,000 units, while Europe declined 5% to 80,000 units. China saw a significant 13% drop, down to 172,000 vehicles. Production also decreased by 8.3% globally during this period. Profitability in North America has been negatively impacted by increased incentives used to clear out inventories, which reduced operating profit by wide 25.7 billion, or $180.7 million, for the parent company during the quarter. The company also faced a significant buildup of inventory, which ballooned from 250,000 units in March 2022 to 640,000 units by the April-June period, and remained at that level by the end of September. To address these inventory issues, Nissan revived dealer incentives for models like the Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier in the US. These stair-step volume bonuses, reminiscent of former Chairman Gosen's tactics, pushed difficult sales targets, ultimately driving discounting, harming resale values, and diminishing profitability for dealers. Some dealers are concerned that this signals a return to old, unsuccessful habits for Nissan. Nissan has also started to overhaul production in its lineup. In September, the company cut output of the Rogue crossover, its US bestseller, and the Frontier pickup, which together make up around 40% of Nissan's US sales. Production of the Rogue fell by 44% that month. Overall production in North America was down by 24%. Nissan is also addressing the gap in its lineup for hybrid vehicles in the US. To catch up with rivals like Toyota and Honda, Nissan plans to introduce two hybrid versions of the Rogue crossover in the next 2 years, one a plug-in hybrid based on technology from Mitsubishi, and the other a version using Nissan's e-Power hybrid setup. This would help Nissan cater to the growing demand for hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles in the US, where registrations of such vehicles have increased by 36% to 866,097 in the first half of the year. There are also rumors that Nissan might discontinue some of its sedan models. Specifically, the subcompact Versa could be dropped after the 2025 model year, and the mid-sized Altima could follow suit after the 2026 model year, leaving only the compact Sentra in Nissan's sedan lineup before a new battery electric sedan arrives by early next decade. Looking ahead, Nissan also revised its full-year outlook, cutting its operating profit target and suspending guidance on net income due to uncertainties around the reform's impacts. This marks the second downward revision this fiscal year. Nissan now expects operating profit to fall by 74% to 150 billion yen, or $1.05 billion, having already lowered the target to 500 billion yen, or $3.5 billion, from last fiscal year's 569.7 billion yen, or $4.01 billion. The net income outlook was revised down in July, and now Nissan says the forecast is to be determined. Nissan also revised its sales outlook downward, expecting global sales to drop by 1.2% to 3.4 million vehicles in the current fiscal year, down from 3.44 million vehicles in the previous year. It had initially expected sales to grow to 3.65 million. Nissan foresees declines in all major markets except North America, where they are hoping for a slight increase. The bottom line is, things are going to get a whole lot worse for Nissan before they get better. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Nissan can pull out of this death spiral, or is it too little too late? This is Kevin Liu for Todo Machina. Thanks for watching.